Welcome everyone. This is the MasterClass. My name is Patricknazareth. I have around 30 years of teaching experience and I would like to help dispel your doubts should you have any. Today we continue with our explanation of Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. Specifically, we are going to look at Act 3, Scene 3. We have just witnessed Antony's funeral speech. Antony has read Caesar's will to the mob, ignited them, made them furious, turned them into a weapon. Brutus and Cassius have already fled Rome in fear. The mob pours out onto the streets. They are looking for the conspirators. They plan on burning their houses to the ground, on killing the conspirators. No order exists any longer in Rome. It is now a rule of the mob. Here we come across Cinna the poet. He is not a conspirator. Indeed, he has come out to attend Caesar's funeral. Cinna was a real person, a real friend of Caesar, but the mob slays him just because he shares a name with another conspirator. His murder is one of history's most cruel cases of mistaken identity. This is the shortest scene in the entire play, less than 40 lines, but it is also the most chilling. What Antony has unleashed in the mob is set forth in front of us. It shows us what the mob is capable of. What are the main events here? Cinna is walking to Caesar's funeral. He has had a disturbing dream. It's a bad omen, warning him not to go out. But he disobeys his instinct and goes because of respect of Caesar. The mob meets him on the street, surrounds him, demands his name, asks him questions. He tells them that he is Cinna the poet, not Cinna the conspirator. The mob doesn't care. They are simply looking for somebody to kill. Just his having the same name as a conspirator is enough for them. He is torn from limb to limb. Their excuse? He's a bad poet. Why is the scene so important? It shows us what Antony has unleashed. It demonstrates to us how mob violence is completely irrational. They do not think in terms of right or wrong. The mob knows that Cinna is innocent, yet they kill him. This foreshadows the bloodshed that is going to come in the Civil War, and it remains one of Shakespeare's darkest commentaries on political violence. A quick summary of the scene then. It takes place in a street of Rome, immediately after Act 3, Scene 2, the same evening, just after Antony has inflamed the mob. Who are the characters here? Cinna the poet, the first citizen, second citizen, third citizen, fourth citizen, as well as other citizens who make up the mob. What happens here? Cinna has dreamed a dream that he cannot understand. He simply knows it is a bad omen. He tells himself he should not go to the funeral because there is something wrong, but he does. The mob spots him and forces him to answer questions rapid fire. What is his name? Where is he going? Where is he from? Is he married or a bachelor? Cinna is an honest person. He answers straightforwardly and truthfully and repeats that he is Cinna the poet. He says that he is going to Caesar's funeral because he was a friend of Caesar. What does he get in reply? It is of no matter. His name's Cinna. In other words, the mob is prepared to kill him just because he shares the same name as another conspirator. In vain does he protest. He is torn from limb to limb. Their justification, if they cannot kill him because he's the conspirator, kill him because he writes bad poetry. Having dealt so brutally with Cinna, they then proceed to Brutus and Cassius's houses to burn them down to the ground. What is the final line of the mob? Tear him for his bad verses. It's darkly comic. It should make you laugh, but it leads to the very brutal death of Cinna. They know they are killing the wrong man, but yet they kill him. They just need an excuse for bloodshed. In this case, they use his poetry. In lines 1 to 14, we are informed about Cinna's dream. We meet Cinna, and what is he saying? I dreamt tonight that I did feast with Caesar. How can he feast with Caesar who is dead? It is obviously a bad omen. And things unluckily charge my fantasy. He has a strong instinct that something is wrong. It's a bad omen, but yet he goes to Caesar's funeral. I have no will to be drawn out of doors. What is the significance of this dream? You see the same pattern everywhere. The Ides of March by the soothsayer, the letter of Artemidorus. Just like Caesar gets warnings and ignores them anywhere, so does Cinna. He understands his dream is a bad omen, yet he ignores it. Shakespeare uses his dream device to make us understand Cinna, to make us feel sympathetic to him before the mob tears him apart. The audience, you and me, feel this horror very acutely because we like Cinna, the way he speaks, the way he behaves. What is the dramatic function played by Cinna? It humanizes the victim before his death, before he is totally destroyed. We as the audience know what is coming. Cinna is all unaware. He is simply going to pay his last respects to his friend. It links to the play's theme of faith versus free will. Even this brief scene is enough to show us that Cinna is an intelligent person, a self-aware person. In lines 15 to 35, the mob surrounds Cinna and fires questions at him. It is a rapid-fire interrogation. You could think of it as a trial, but the judgment has already been delivered, that this man will be killed. Individual citizens are given voices, just to show us that the mob is made up of different citizens. Surely there might be a voice of reason among the whole lot who will say that this is the wrong man to kill. But no, they're all on the same page. Cinna must be killed. What is your name? Whither are you going? Where do you dwell? Are you a married man or a bachelor? Each question is shot at him. Each question he answers truthfully. He is given no time to think or breathe. The verdict is in. He is going to be torn limb from limb. Cinna answers truthfully, I am Cinna the poet. He's got nothing to hide. His honesty makes no difference to the mob. What is the logic of the mob? It is no matter. His name's Cinna. Pluck but his name out of his heart. His name is Cinna. Good enough. Let's kill him for that. Truth, innocence, proof, irrelevant. That is what mob violence is all about. The terrifying logic. Just an association replaces evidence. Tear him for his bad verse. They know he is the wrong man. They know that he is a poet, not a conspirator. But yet, they show him no mercy whatsoever. In lines 35 to 39, the scene ends abruptly. Cinna is killed. The mob moves on. Shakespeare gives us no description of the murder. We must imagine what has happened. The silence that follows is the real horror. An innocent man, killed, murdered, torn limb from limb by a mob who is well aware that he is innocent. The key quote, I am Cinna the poet, I am Cinna the poet, desperate, pathetic and futile. His pleas fall on deaf ears. He is continuously protesting his innocence to the end until his voice is silent. Tear him for his bad verses, tear him for his bad verses. The citizens are joking. They're killing him. And they're justifying the killing by saying that he writes bad poetry. He is not being treated as a person. He's being treated as an object. He must be destroyed. He must be erased. What Shakespeare does not show us, the actual killing of Cinna, it is done off stage. We are not shown the violence. This is deliberate. We can imagine what is happening to the man, and the horror of it strikes home. The mob, does it feel a little bit guilty? No, it simply moves on. To Brutus, to Cassius, burn all. Cinna is already forgotten. He was just a warm-up. The main course, the conspirators, are still waiting. Why does the scene matter? Shakespeare shows us what Anthony has unleashed in the form of a mob, what it is capable of. Every fire, every death, every riot flows from his speech. Cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war. An innocent man is dead. Will anybody be convicted? No. This is the result of political manipulation. The character, Cinna the poet, he's one of Shakespeare's most powerful minor characters. He exists just to have his death come at the hands of the mob, and that too unjustly. What are his character traits? He is intelligent and self-aware. He knows his instinct is telling him not to go, but yet he goes to Caesar's funeral. He is loyal. He was a genuine friend to Caesar. He genuinely wanted to see him off on his last journey. He is honest. He answers each question truthfully, even under pressure. He is innocent. He has no connection to the conspiracy whatsoever. He is helpless. His innocence, intelligence and truthfulness is of nothing in the eyes of the mob. He is completely helpless against the mob fury. The key quote, I am Cinna the poet, I am Cinna the poet, repeated desperately in hopes of mercy, but falls on deaf ears. He is not being killed for what he did. He is killed for simply having the name of Cinna. What does Cinna represent? He represents the innocent casualties that fall at the altar of politics as a result of political violence. How the individual is crushed by collective fury. The cost of demagoguery. Anthony's speech is going to have a real body count. Shakespeare is warning us. A mob, once on the street, do not distinguish between guilt and innocence. They will kill whomever they come across just because he or she is there at the wrong place at the wrong time. In this particular scene, the citizens taken together become an individual character. Shakespeare takes the time to give the mob individual voices, which has the effect of making them more frightening, not less. What is the character of this mob? They are quick to violence. They surround Cinna immediately. There is no provocation at all. They are aware but indifferent. They realize that Cinna is not a conspirator. He has got nothing to do with the killing of Caesar, but yet they are going to murder him anyway. They're darkly humorous. Tear him for his bad verses? Cruel, biting wit, foreshadowing something very dark. They are purposeful in their irrationality. They don't think, yet they have a list. They're going to burn Brutus's house. They're going to burn Cassius's house. They are very clear that Cinna is just a detour. They represent the result of manipulation. They have descended to the level of beasts. They are what Anthony has made of them. Key quote, no matter, his name's Cinna. Pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him going. It's the most chilling line in the entire scene. A citizen is giving a rationale for killing an innocent man just because he shares the same name with the conspirator. If you look back over the scenes, you will find that the mob has an entire theme. Shakespeare shows progression. In the forum, they are first confused. They have no idea what is going on. They are but passive bystanders. When Brutus speaks, they are enthusiastic, but they are manageable. When Anthony speaks, they become violent, murderous, unstoppable. In this particular act, Act 3, Scene 3, they kill an innocent man without any guilt whatsoever. Shakespeare shows us mob mentality as a progression. Each step becomes easier and easier. What are the literary devices that are used by Shakespeare? First, dramatic irony. The audience, you and me, know that Cinna is going to be murdered and that the mob is coming for him. It creates an unbearable tension while Cinna is speaking. Foreshadowing. Cinna's dream foreshadows his death. Feasting with the dead means to join them. Symbolism. Cinna represents all the nameless victims of political violence. His name is just symbolic. Why? Names, labels, identities, they can all be fatal regardless of whether the person is innocent or truthful. Dark comedy and black humor. Killing a man and justifying it by saying that he writes bad poetry. What an absurd reason to give. It makes this murder even more horrifying, not less. Repetition. I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet. Desperate, futile, pathetic repetition of his name, which no one listens to. Pathos. The brief inner life of Cinna, his dream, his reluctance to go out, his loyalty to Caesar, creates sympathy in us, the audience. His innocence, his honesty intensify the tragedy. Rapid-fire dialogue. Questions are shot at him from all sides. He is barely given time to think, to breathe, and yet forget to reason with any of them. Brevity, the very shortness of the scene, allows us to be hit very hard by it. It shows us the speed and senselessness of mob violence. The contrast, Cinna alone. He is thoughtful, hesitant, and the mob, relentless, brutal, and single-minded. The irony, Cinna was going to Caesar's funeral because he was a loyal friend. His very gesture of showing respect leads to his death. Metonymy, his name Cinna, the name stands for a man. Identity is reduced to simply a label. Offstage violence, the murder is implied, not shown. What the audience imagines is worse than anything that can be staged. What are the themes that Shakespeare presents to us? The mob mentality and the danger of the crowd. The mob knows that Cinna is innocent. The mob knows that there is no reason to kill him. This shows us how mass emotion can prevail over sane judgment. The consequences of rhetoric and manipulation. Anthony knew what he was doing. He set this mob in motion. Even he cannot control the monster that he has unleashed. Faith versus free will. Cinna's dream warns him not to go. The soothsayer, Artemidorus, tried to warn Caesar. This play keeps on reminding us that when things have to happen, it happens. Who wins, faith or free will? Identity and injustice. Cinna is reduced to just a name. Innocence, honesty, truth, all are discarded by the wayside. Order versus chaos. Rome has relapsed into disorder. Chaos reigns supreme on the street. There is no law, no justice, no authority. The city burns. Cassius's claim, we are not murderers but purgers, rings hollow. The individual versus the collective. Cinna is the individual. The mob is the collective. Cinna stands for nothing against the collective fury of the mob. He is completely crushed as an individual. Political violence and the cost. Anthony's manipulation has a direct, violent, measurable human cost. An innocent man is killed for no fault of his own. Shakespeare does not allow us to continue to admire Anthony. Shakespeare wants us to understand that political manipulation, just to gain power, while freeing the general public of responsibility, by allowing them the license to do whatever they want to do, has consequences that are all too real, all too bloody. As usual, I have given you a vocabulary list. Please feel free to go through it. Go through the scene that we have just covered. See if the words there you can understand. If you can't, an easier translation awaits you. I have given you certain key passages. The speaker is identified, the context in which this passage is put is identified, and I have tried to make it understandable for you. What are the exam tips I can offer you? What do examiners look for? The repetition, I am Cinna the poet, I am Cinna the poet. What it shows about the mob's indifference to truth and the pathos it creates. Tear him for his bad verses. The dark comedy, examiners love this line. The mob knows he is the wrong man. This line reveals something deeply sinister about collective cruelty. It is no matter his name Cinna. The chilling core of mob violence, the chilling logic of mob violence, truth is swept by the wayside. Cinna's dream, the ignored omen, linking back to Artemidorus, to the soothsayer, connects it to the wider faith versus free will theme that runs throughout this play. Consequences of Anthony's speech. Always link this scene to Act 3, Scene 2. A beautiful speech, but what it has unleashed is something horrific. Link it to themes. The mob mentality. The crowd knows Cinna is innocent, still kills him anyway. The consequences of rhetoric. Anthony's speech has directly caused the death of an innocent man. Faith versus free will. Cinna's dream versus his decision to go out anyway. Identity and injustice. He is killed for a name, not for an act. Order versus chaos. Rome has completely broken down. I have also prepared a list of questions for you. Context questions, short answer questions, long answer questions, and extract based questions. You can study the scene and then try and answer these questions. I've also provided their answers in case you feel any difficulty whatsoever. That's the lesson there for you then. I do hope I have been of help. If I have, do remember to like, subscribe, and share. Remember, there might be others who would require our help. Thank you so much for watching.